right, so blue, black control. This archetype actually won the Streamer League tournament yesterday that Close to Finco, so there was a 30-player event. It's also put up a number of results in a number of other tournaments, Star City and stuff like that. I don't think it's won a major tournament, but it's had strong finishes. And honestly, I think it just has a pretty good range of answers to things. I think both Shadow's Verdict and Ugin are in really well-positioned spots. The various Toski adventure decks have been becoming more and more popular, and those decks basically can't beat an Ugin, is what it comes down to a lot of the time. Negate and Saw Coming are both excellent in the Sultimatum matchup, and then a lot of the builds have been playing 1 to 3 copies of Midnight Clock, which seems like a really sweet inclusion. So it's a little bit of mana ramp. And then it also gives you this inevitability that like recycles through your threats if they've died, and also like gasses you back up in the late game when you're drawing the game out. And one thing that's really neat with Saw Coming especially is, you know, if you foretell this on 2 or 3, you can play Midnight Clock on 4 and still have Saw It coming up, because you'll have 1 untapped land plus the Midnight Clock making a mana. So it feels like it's probably pretty easy to slip this in without putting the shields too far down, which sounds appealing. So let's go ahead and dive on into some standard matches with this morning and see how it feels. Shreddo Lord, if you can go ahead and just drop a link to a game you're thinking about donating through the form here on my site, and I'll take a peek at it, that way, and send you an email back. When I start playing Magic again, I've been gone for a while, have some bits, apologies for not being a good fan. Hey, Spicy Dad, listen, things ebb and flow, and breaks are good, as someone who just got off of a break himself. We picked back up with the release of Call Diamond Arena. So about a little over a month ago. Both standard and historic have been a lot of fun, so it's good to be back. Team seems fine. But not showing Yorion, so it could be adventures or aggro. Yeah, no problem. As a heads up, I have donations for Ratchet and Clank, as well as Nier Automata. So any game, even if I did accept it as something I would take, it'd probably be 4 to 5 weeks out before I started it, because I only do like 6 to 10 hours of variety stuff a week, so it takes me a little bit to get through things. Punchworthy! I did see that one, Punchworthy. I don't think you gave me a link to it though in your donation message, so if you could ship me a link for that one, that'd be great. I think I'm keeping Soul Shatter in the dark here. It's good against most things. Voltaic, speaking of a long time, thank you for the 50 months and the tier 2. Welcome back. Yeah, no problem. I meant to message you and I forgot because the weekend was crazy. Alright, so confirmed adventures. So, how do I want to sequence here? Perfect, it's in the tier 3 subs, that works. Find it there later. I don't really need to strive for anything. I think I'm just gonna take this and throw it in the corner. Oh, you know what? Let me relaunch Cardboard Live. I had Cardboard. I at least remembered to turn the delay off on my computer. We might have to wait till the next game. I forgot to turn the delay off on Cardboard Live. Cardboard. Cardboard Live supports having a delay. Now it is off. I don't know. It's gonna grab it right away. Oh, it is up there immediately. Sweet. Good stuff. Good stuff. So now they do get a window to stick the beast here. Oh, just a mammoth, sure. Okay, and I think I take this opportunity to play Mazemind Tome and hold up a counterspell rather than soul shattering. Counter spells, I guess I should say. Hopefully they go land and then try and stick a henge, and we get to play the negate. Definitely want to saw it coming that way, I think. I don't actually know what the logistics on foretell cards are going to be. I don't know if that's something I'm going to worry about. Probably not something I'm really going to engage with all that often. Alright, we're taking an 8-ball here. Probably scrying just because we want to get towards gaining life on this soon. Arcanian, thank you for the 27 months. Welcome back. Good morning. Yeah, I think I want to shatter to stop a henge. Negate sounds great. Am I scrying with this? I think so. 25 months. How old does my sub need to be to start planning a my mid-sub-life crisis? Well, I plan to be here for like another decade or so. Why stick? So at least that long. Hey, Red Link, thanks for the 26 months. Yeah, I feel like I articulated myself well in the Runeterra video. I feel I probably should have used a little bit more cards on the visuals on it, but I feel like what I ended up with turned out good. I should probably add that video to a command in the stream actually, thinking about it now. Save me some explanation later. Ugin. Yeah, I actually had this archetype loaded up in... I had this archetype loaded up in my deck editor before your tournament even, but the ones in your tournament gave me some ideas for things I wanted to adjust for sure. I think I'm supposed to Bloodchief's Thirst this to not take damage from it this turn. See that being the case because of Scald's here. Hey, Engineer, thank you for the 39 months and thank you for the tier 2. Old Man Swade, thank you for the 1.5 years. Hyped for a sword that's even scarier than Embercleave. What's going on, Miles? Alright, even if we brick on untapped land here, we have Shadow's Verdict to clean things up. Honestly, so like, for a long time, we referred to Treasure Map as Jank Glue when it was standard legal. And Mazemind Tome just like does that job even better than Treasure Map did. The fact that it like gains you life and doesn't take mana to activate makes that its effect so much better against aggro. Yeah, it's really fantastic. Alright, one of your finest untapped lands, please. Rats. Okay, so let's start here. Would love another Shadow's Verdict. Would also settle for Extinction Event. I think we need to bottom these. I'd like a piece of spot removal. That'll do, pig. That'll do. This card is so good against these adventure decks, it's unreal. Yeah, if they're not on a build playing, if they're not playing dragons, which they probably aren't, we're likely into garbage time at this point once this Ugin comes down. I might have Mutate combo loaded up into my deck editor as well. And I would not be surprised if that one wins the deck voting later today. The Shark Typhoon going to help ensure we don't spend a lot of time in garbage time here. I think with the Borrower draw, I actually just pass here. I put in agrees that we have hit closing time. Pestilent Haze sounds good. Mutate combos, speaking of OTK, what's going on, Kamit? Do I just assume they're playing the Toski build? I feel like that's probably a reasonable thing to be doing. Stabby McStab Face, thank you for the 16 months. Good morning, good morning. I think we should have some counter spells here. I think this is just an all Doomblades on deck matchup. Need two more trims here. I'm supposed to trim some of my card advantage. I have eight CA spells. Yeah, I saw this card at a sideboard that I had picked off, and this card's kind of gasoline. It notably doesn't die to Shadow's Verdict, and we can make it not die to Extinction Event in a lot of situations too. Like, yeah, seems like a fantastic piece of technology. Yes, yeah, foretell cards do flip up at the end now like they're supposed to. Is accurate. Hey, FMALO. Started subbing after work from home started. Can't believe it's been a year. It has, in fact. Thanks for keeping me around. Welcome back. Slayer of Squirrels. Yeah, that's definitely something he does. Did I submit 61? We'll find out in a second. I don't think I did. If I did, it wasn't intentional. 54. No, we're 54 and 6. We're good. We've had first March, yes. What about second March? Send it back from whence it came. All right, with that draw, this can play out on blue. Oh, you know what? This was wrong because I potentially could have just activated Crawling Barrens for 2 counters here, right? Should have played Crawly B. been stepped on. Yeah, I'm just gonna gain 7 here. Just put that back from whence it came. That is exciting, Indy. Yeah, the Biden admin said that they're expecting to have appropriate amounts of COVID vaccine for every adult in the states by the end of May. So I'll be interested to see if that's a metric that they hit. A lot of the Naya adventure builds have been off henge recently. They've been playing Scalds and Toski as their card advantage. Okay, this build is not. This is definitely much better against us. Much harder to plow through henge than it is those other ones with something like Ugin and Shadow's Verdict. We gotta get rid of these. We're still 2 lands off of Ugin. Heartless Act is now useless as well, because this puts counters on things. Yeah, I think we're dead, fam. Hey, to Def. Thank you for the 19 months. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, and this is the unfortunate downside of our archetype against you know, random other things that people could have, is that, you know, we actually, other than these couple copies of Brazen Borrower, we don't have a way to take henge off the table. I guess we could theoretically Ugin -9, but it's pretty unlikely. I guess we'll want to try and prioritize holding on to borrowers for that moving forward. Bearded, thanks for the follow. And Rookie HS, welcome to Magic the Gathering, and welcome to the channel this morning. If you're new to the channel like Bearded and Rookie, thanks for hanging out this morning. We do a ton of card games and turn-based strategy games here. Magic is the primary game I'm streaming again these days. The Called I'm set has made their constructed formats on Arena a lot of fun. That's great to hear, Rebecca. It's like in the back of my mind, the incredibly stupid anti-vaxxers and other anti-science, anti-intellectual people, like, I know in my head that, like, they're a vocal minority, but, like, there's also that part of my lizard brain that's just like, oh no, what if everybody's actually too paranoid to get the vaccine, and then we can't move forward? God, they're so loud. And like the logical, consistent part of me knows that, like, that's not the average and the norm, but at the same time, there's always that fear, like, oh no, what if it is? And it's nice to hear that there are plenty of reasonable people out there. We just eliminate Edgewall Innkeeper to start here in case they have a 3-1 on 2. Yeah, we'll see, Rook. I don't know, like, games at this point have taught me I just, like, don't have expectations for the most part. Because one of their daughters got a headache from it. Oh. is a little scary, but less scary than Henge since we have 2 copies of Ugin in our deck. I think I want to be activating Mazemind Tome every turn from here on out, so that way we can gain some life, and I want to draw a card with it, so I'm just going to go ahead and foretell this and pass, I think. Feel like I want to Behold here, because I would like to hit a way to kill the Edgewall Innkeeper. Yeah, that's nice. I'm probably in for keeping Intervention here too, right? So, Intervention can kill Klothys if Klothys is a creature, but if Klothys is a creature, we're probably dead. is the TLDR on that one. It might be right to just scry top with this Mazemind Tome again here, so we can... Might be right to scry top, so we can get the life gain sooner. I think I'm doing these 2 this turn and then scrying. Now I could Erebos' Intervention this. But then that means I have to bounce the Bone Crusher Giant, so I think the answer is no. I think I just want to do this and then Soul Shatter them. Try and keep them off of hinging us this turn. I'm fully vaccinated, can't confirm I'm a giant blue bear. Is it like a scene out of Willy Wonka? Oompa, oompa, oompity doo. Do 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 do. Yeah, my lack of using this aggressively is it might cost us this game. We'll see. Hey, Kikinak, thank you for the Prime support. There's a ton of great people making a ton of great stuff on Twitch. You can send that to every month. Thanks for sending it this way this month. I mean, we're definitely gaining life with the intervention. I got the name right. Don't get used to that. I probably won't remember it. 6, 7. I think I'm bottoming that. I'm gonna take a random here. It's a pretty decent random. play is going to seem a little bit odd, but I think it's the right one. They've got Bone Crusher Giants 3 and 4. We could be dead here. So, if they have 3 and 4, we will be dead. They're pausing, so it feels like we could be getting stepped on again here. Yeah, scary. We can't intervention giant. Well, Mazemind Tome's gonna gain me life next turn. Christy's fine. She just had a migraine yesterday, so nothing long term. I appreciate the concern though. Oh, second intervention. We've had first interventions, chat. What about second interventions? Am I scrying with this? I think I'm scrying with this. Am I? Yes, I could hit an Ugin, right? We hit Ugin, that's absurd. So if I keep the Heartless Act, I take 2 from this, but then I'm gaining 5 off of this. And then I get to save the second intervention for their next creature to gain up to 7 with, which seems good. Okay, so we end up at 9 here, going to 7 off of the Clothis trigger. So we're gonna need to draw something useful here. It's possible I should have kept this Behold, knowing that my Mazemind Tome was popping soon and I was gonna be out of card advantage. Yeah, Clothis is a good, clean design. Agree. Agree. So it's gonna be X's 8. Morning maple syrup. They've not dropped the 5th Mythgard code yet. Hopefully that happens soon. Yikes. Yeah, I mentioned that it might have been a mistake to bottom this Behold, and I think it was. Double activate here. I mean, we can, but that's not going to be enough to not die. Ever played Darkest Dungeon? I have not, Sheriff. Judge? Thanks for the Prime support. Good morning and welcome to the channel. Oh, that makes Clothis a creature. Yikes. Alright, well. The upside to Clothis being a creature is that if we draw a Shadow's Verdict, we get to exile it. You would have said that Rogues and Cycling would be the best thing. I am surprised that Rogues did well. I am not surprised that Cycling did well. So, I think I actually go to 5 here because keeping this land alive means I can glimpse, or it means I can behold or activate a what's it called, and then still cast Shadow's Verdict. All right, we died. It was not Ugin or bust. Shadow's Verdict would also get us out of that situation. You're talking about upside all the time, but never up dog. What's going on, Andrew? Yeah, cycling does have a bad matchup against sideboards. I heard someone compare it to Dredge, and while I don't think it's quite that polarized, I don't think it's that far off either. I think I lost that game likely because I bottomed the Behold the Multiverse. I think I probably should have kept that one on top to plow through to some more cards. So I think I'd keep this hand against Yorion. I feel like in the dark it's probably not very good though. Well, we died game 1. We died the first match, Kate. We died to Great Henge, notably. So I kind of like, I know this archetype's been poking up a little bit here and there, but I kind of feel like I'd be surprised if it wasn't optimal to like splash blue for Binding of the Old Gods. Like I think like the green splash can be done. The only thing you have to give up to splash green is the snow cards. And I feel like giving up Graven Lore in order to have a more generic answer is fine. Because you have like Mazemind Tome and Glimpse to generate card advantage with. So like these two things can trip, but I get to Extinction Event them next turn. Whatever color I said. Whatever color I meant. Binding. You want an answer to problem permanence. They missed 2 points of damage. To be fair, they might be someone who's watched my stream and followed my content recently, and I didn't make any plays there, and they could have been worried about me playing a flash creature. Which is kind of a funny circumstance of the things I've been playing recently. I could have, like, until I cast that Extinction Event, I could have been the blue-black mutate flash deck I've been playing a bunch of. The number of basics you're able to play, and like this here, right? So like because I don't have a great answer to this, I have to like skip playing Graven Lore this turn. Which feels bad. I guess I get to scry an extra now, which is nice, but is what it is. But basically, if, like, you play 4 Triomes and you play 4 Pathways, that's enough to splash a... That alone is enough to splash a 4-mana green card. Do I want... I don't want the Soul Shatter. Do I want second Ugin? Do I want Heartless Act? So I'm only on 6 lands right now. I feel like there's a chance I want follow-up Ugin. If we keep Ugin in play, they probably can't win. I think I just 1-for-1 this and then throw this under the corner. So I basically want to be able to... I basically want to be able to have another Ugin should my opponent have a way to kill this first for like something weird like a questing beast. actually, something we're definitely going to play later this week as well. I feel like the way the format's turned around, it feels to me like the Jund control deck I spent a bunch of time playing the first week has probably gotten to a place where it's pretty well positioned, especially if we put some Shadows Verdicts in it. Like Ugin seems really good right now. All right, this is cute. Mr. Jojo. Clicking resub is always the easiest financial decision every month, even if they are Bezo bucks. Thanks for the quality. Thanks for keeping me around, Jojo. Wouldn't be here without folks like you. Bezos money. You could even argue Bezos money is better than other people's money because you get to pay me and not do it yourself. All right, so we're gonna plus up Papa Ugin here. Yeah, that's super true, Gelato. Like the fact that the format has become more defined definitely helps a control deck like that more than it hurts it. Send this back from whence it came. Bezos money is other people's money. That's true. Again, like the power of Ugin, right? They're just like not getting through here. All right, we just assume they're on Squirrel, right? It's probably a safe assumption. It's fine. Not amazing, but fine. That is 100% the case, Bing Bang. And I've talked about that before, that, you know, the data that we get from MTG Melee doesn't actually translate directly to the ladder. Every control deck you see doing well on MTG Melee, you should subtract a little bit from its win percentage when you translate it to the ladder. And similarly, every aggro deck, you should add some points to it. Control decks gain in open decklist formats, and aggro decks lose in terms of what they have in matchup equity. Detix, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate it. Good morning. Good morning. I know this plays a little spiteful, chat, but don't judge me too harshly now. Is our second match with Blue-Black? I think it's the second match. Got our anti-squirrel technology, chat. Control decks gain a lot more than aggro decks do being able to mulligan appropriately game one. The way aggro decks tend to mulligan, especially game one, is more about what cards they want to see as opposed to what cards their opponents have. So a control deck being able to know what they're looking for to play against is huge. I think I'm just Graven Loring this turn. Just take another hit here. Hopefully they play some more stuff out and we get to verdict them. This card not dying to our Shadows Verdict is real gross too. Speaking of not dying to Shadows Verdict. You actually want all these? So I get to go Midnight Clock, Bloodchief's Thirst, kill this, Heartless Act, kill this. Your bell has tolled, opponent. It's our first time casting Midnight Clock in the set. Like a sweet card. You get to play Ritual of Soot in Historic. It's about time Blue got me at a ramp too. I mean, to be fair, we've had Artifact ramp for forever, right? Black Leech! Thanks for the quarter of a year. Good morning. If they have another Armored Killer, it actually might be right to board Clock out in this matchup because of these Armored Killers. I think leaving Clock in is actually a mistake. I guess I'll keep this, because I can kill their thing and then scry again next turn. That's fine. Borrower can stay right here. Right here until we need him, okay? Yeah, I think Ugin controls in a good spot right now. It honestly could be right to have as many as 3 Ugin in this deck. There's no such thing as too many Ugins. There's definitely such a thing as too many Ugins. Morning, Lucas. It's 6 too many. 4 is honestly probably too many. My thoughts on 5-mana Ashiok. I don't think it's a particularly good card. This is part of the reason why it hasn't seen much play. The Generally speaking, playable 5-mana planeswalkers draw a card when you +1 them, and Ashiok's +1 creating a 2/3 just isn't close enough to drawing a card to make it playable. You play Valky in this deck, maybe? I don't know. I don't know that really... Wow, getting super punished by this Scavenging Ooze here. This is a card to think about. There's more Scavenging Oozes. This is something too, you know, talking about metagames. There's more Scavenging Oozes in the format now than there were a couple of weeks ago because cycling has become popular. But thinking about this card when I sequence my 2-mana removal spells is something I need to start considering more. Hey, Bird No Proof. Thank you for the 7 months. Welcome back. They did steal my Ugin, chat. It's fine. We're gonna be a little heartless with this Rob Brother Rich anyways. Yikes. I gotta do this. Alright, can we draw one of our 4 sweepers here? Let's do this now, because we could hit a Bloodchief's Thirst. Hold up Heartless Act here in case they have another dragon. Yeah, I wanted to be able to Heartless Act plus Behold the Multiverse there, Gelato, or Heartless Act plus Negate. Like Dragon was basically the only card that they could play that would make me want to cast the card that I didn't cast. We're gonna die to Cleave here, but I think I need to keep my life total up. Ideally, they would have played it already. So far, this counter-spell-based control deck has not felt particularly good today. And that was my experience when we played control decks early on in this format, was I really found myself disliking trying to play a bunch of counterspells. Against everything that isn't Sultai Ultimatum, the counterspells have felt very bad. So far, my takeaway from playing this has been I would like to play some more Jund control. Or maybe, honestly, maybe 4-color control isn't a good spot. Like, with the Sultai, you don't have a Jund triome, and with the Sultai and Temur triomes and pathways, you get to splash Negate pretty easy. So maybe we'll revisit some 4-color control later this week. Red Z, thanks for the half a year. I mean, I like money, Beamsy, but I encourage you to maybe find something sweet to play for historic days, perhaps. Corey's list was basically just like stocks ultimatum, and there's a lot of people that have played like honestly, if you want to see Sultai ultimatum content, I'd recommend watching Gabriel Nassif. He's played that archetype a ton and would probably play it better than me. What's going on, Pants? If you haven't been here, if it's been a hot second since you've been here, Pants, I've been doing Mythgard stuff for the last month now again. They reached back out to me and reminded me that I really like their game, so I've been doing some sponsored segments with them, but I've also been playing it off-stream a bunch as well. Hit Mithril rank yesterday, hanging out on my iPad. Yeah, they've got 2 expansions in their game now, and they're actually doing a promo this month where they're giving away the entirety of their core set, which is sweet. Good way to get people in the door. I think I'm in for Soul Shatter. Nassif might play it better, but will he sing pitchy songs at us while he does it? I think you could classify Gabriel Nassif's sub-notification as a pitchy song. I'm not an expert, but I think it might fall under that category. Yeah, the promo is really great for getting people in that feel exactly like you, Bamsy. Honestly, I hope even after their promo's done, I'm gonna try and talk them into considering to making their core set permanently free. Because it's such a good way to just get people in the door and just be like, hey, you get like, you know, almost 500 cards to brew with for free, and they're competitive. Their core gameplay is super reasonable, so giving people a taste to start is great. I think I'm doing this here. I think hitting a land drop next turn is really important. I can take a hit from this robber. Correct. Yeah, exactly. And they're a small indie project. Like Mythgard's made by like a team of 9 people. So like getting people in the door to start, to like them to sample your thing is good. Yes, the first bump should be free. Thought I'd start looking exceptionally slow here. So, there's nothing my opponent could play on 4 here, Disposable Hero, that would make me want to Soul Shatter rather than Behold the Multiverse. And foretelling the Behold the Multiverse gives me value in that it could cause my opponent's play patterns to change by playing around a counter spell. So, this wasn't a dragon turn, which dragon would basically be the only thing I'd be interested in soul shattering. Like questing beast, I'd just take a hit from. So I think there's an incredible amount of value in that instance of just like killing their things. Speaking of, I think I eliminate right now before my opponent can have Snake Skin up. And then we'll shatter this, or we'll shatter a dragon or a questing beast if they have either of those. That's true too. Foretelling also makes the robber trigger worse. So it's definitely not wrong to foretell there, based on the permutations of things that could happen. Thanks for the half a year, by the way, Breadsy. I think you missed that one. How's Mythgard's monetization? It's middle. It's not as generous as Runeterra, but it's also not as bad as Arena. They allow you to dust cards that you don't want. They are a pack-based economy, but they do allow you to break down cards that you don't want that you open. So it's definitely, as someone who's honest in the things that he promotes, it's definitely not as generous as Runeterra, but it's also not nearly as bad as Arena. I think I'm keeping the land. We just want to get to this Ugin, right? As a comparison to Magic Arena from a free-to-play economy perspective, I don't fully know the free-to-play economy details because I pay to play in all of my card games, like I've said, but Mythgard gives you almost 2 booster packs worth of in-game currency every day that you play, which is like, you know, a pretty significant difference. I just give them this land here at this point. I'm not going to try and do this so I can get Snakeskin Veiled. No, I don't want them to play the Snakeskin card. That'd be real bad for me. All right, and with this, and they're just passing here instead of playing the Giant, it feels like they have Snakeskin, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and bold here, actually. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what that card does, Beansy. I assume it's a historic anthology card, though. That's the artifacts. Artifacts have improvise. Yeah, we could probably do something with that. Non-artifact, sorry, whatever. Paradoxical outcome is legal, right? We have that card? Improvise is you can tap artifacts to cast them for cheaper. Yeah, convoke for artifacts is the TLDR. Inspiring Sanctuary sounds good. All right, don't play a second Snakeskin Veil on me here. Sure, you've stepped on your rubber. The next anthology drops on Thursday, the 11th, and it will be legal for the Hoglandia Historic Tournament. So if you're interested and you have some sweet brews to show off in the new format, be sure you join us for our tournament that will have full coverage on Sunday the 21st. All right, welcome to Uginsville. Population U.
Perfection is a journey, not a destination. I will destroy if I must.
Yeah, firmly in the grasp of garbage time here.
All creation be undone.
We're at 14. We've got Ugin. We've got removal spells. I feel like you probably don't need Sanctuary to do that, though, Beansy. I feel like Sanctuary is a bad use of accomplishing that. I feel like for Sanctuary, I'm probably gonna build like a bad PO Storm deck. It's probably the sweet thing to do. Yeah, castle means we won't brick off here. Which is great. Ugin's all the way down to 4, chat. Stayed up for a little bit, huh? Like, I like how they're just like not playing this Bone Crusher Giant. They're gonna somehow get a better opportunity for it. Maybe they think we can't see it. Yep. Thunk.
Ghost fire.
Ghost fire. Pestilent Haze on the draw. Maybe. He does reference the fact that his plus is Ghostfire. It's great. Just lovely. Speaking of historic anthology, we were talking about that. Thursdays and Fridays stream, the Magic portions will be all historic. And if you are a Twitch sub and you have sweet ideas for things to do with the historic anthology cards, make sure you drop those in the subscriber Discord server for me. I'll be looking for deck ideas to showcase off on stream. I'll also happily guarantee we play your deck idea for a donation, but I'm also just going to be picking ones that look interesting myself. Let's again just go ahead and murder this now while they're tapped out before they have green mana up for Snakeskin Veil. Why do we even have Crawling Barrens in the deck? We know we have the only clock you're going to use in the Mana Rock. Sorry, I guess that's fair, Andrew. I should say if you're in Twitch chat, you have fun ideas. Let's say fun and not good. Let's set the bar to realistic. Reasonable expectations. Yikes! We missed the land drop, chat. I think we're dead. I personally am probably going to avoid working on Death Shadow decks. I expect lots of these spikes of the world to spend a lot of time working on Death Shadow. So that's something I expect to be optimized without me touching it. But I'm also missing land drops here. Could be the saving grace. Alright, come on. Untapped land. Untapped land. How many lands are in this deck, by the way? There are fewer than 28 lands in this deck. Really hate Cardboard Live Site for decks. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20. There's only 26 lands in this deck? That's gross. People should play more lands, chat. I think we're dead. Yeah, I started with the list from somewhere else and I didn't cut a spell for a land. I should have. I'm gonna play a dragon here and kill us. Cut clock? Nah. I don't know how I feel about clock exactly, but I haven't played it enough to cut it yet. See, chat? The shuffler's rigged. The truth is out there. We added 2 lands to our deck and we immediately got a no land 7. Clearly this is the empirical based evidence I need to prove my theory. You put the codes for Mythgard in under the store tab. Click the store tab and then scroll to the right. Wake up, sheeple, the truth is out there. Yeah, I think 4 Ugins is much too many. 3 could even potentially be too many in this deck. Oh yeah, that's good to note too. You can't enter Mythgard codes on iOS because Apple is Apple. They're saying about cycling's increase in popularity. I was saying that it didn't surprise me because the cycling deck is very good. What's wrong with that? Well, they have a lot of policies regarding how they manage software on their platform, such as like not letting people like Mythgard enter codes for products on their applications in the App Store. I've been there, opponent. The one land double cycling on the draw, and you miss. Feels bad, man. Okay, so Ugin is pretty slow here. Saw it coming's definitely slow. Soul Shatter's not good. I'm gonna keep 1 or 2 of these. I want Negates to help me deal with Zenith Flares. Elspeth's Nightmare also deals with Zenith Flare well. What's the payoff for not playing Lurrus? They're playing Ironcrag Pyromancer now to not play Lurrus, which I think is an okay payoff. I don't think it's terrible. Ironcrag Pyromancer is a card that a lot of the popular decks of the format have a hard time taking off the table. That's basically a 6-lander rate. But Jeff, what if I gave you a 5-lander with an Extinction Event instead of an Eliminate? How do you feel about Titans and Historic? They're probably fine. With Field of the Dead banned, Green Titan's probably not too obnoxious. I don't know. I wouldn't mind a redesigned Green Titan rather than the current one that we have. Maybe I should have just kept the first tanks. If we had Eliminate for this box, we'd actually be in an okay spot. Sweet. It's also worth noting here for the lizard-brained people watching this stream that don't understand statistics, the fact that we saw 2 all-land hands in a row was not impacted by the lands that we added to the deck, because I added 2 cycling lands, 2 triomes, so even before we made the change of additional mana, these hands would have still happened. That's irrelevant regardless if you understand statistics, but it's worth pointing out if you want to be results-based, it's not even good to be results-based here. Huh. It's a good draw. Do this during their upkeep here, in case they have a negate, make them use it on their turn. This way, if they want to hit us with this, they have to cycle twice here during their upkeep, which there's a good chance they could do that. Man, thinking about this deck and sideboard cards, even just thinking about Jund Control again, you know, Elspeth's Nightmare is another card that, like, is really good right now, right? Like, or in this matchup especially, like, Elspeth's Nightmare was already pretty good against the opponent's deck. And, like, being able to kill these all the time in addition to everything else that they have going on, like taking Zenith Flare out of their hand and then exiling their graveyard, like, all of that is huge amounts of upside. This pops off at 12 counters. She is, yeah, Ewok. Christy gets migraines periodically. Yesterday was a rough one for her. This is the Danny T. Law build. I have no idea. Let's say no, because we're like 8 cards off of the list I started to copy to start. Lots of people have been playing blue-black control. And honestly, after playing it, I'm surprised so many people have been playing it. My feelings and opinions on it after playing it a bit here are not particularly high. Hey, that's awesome, Ted. If it's up for sale on a retailer somewhere online, you should link it in chat. I'm keeping that. I might not have enough time to keep that. Yeah, I mean, like, so, like, the best summary, while your tournament was fun yesterday, James, like, by virtue of the fact that, like, the most represented deck in your tournament was other, means, like, you know, like, that's relevant. The meta game there was very different than basically every other major tournament that's happened. Oh, you can pay to put counters on this. Should read this card. Readings busted, chat. Oh, I probably should have tapped this for a mana, huh? Well, they had both Negate and Mystic Dispute available to them there. Man, if this isn't peak blue-black control, then I don't know what is. Like that's some peak blue-black control right there, chat. Right there. This is where the magic happens. Yeah, that Midnight Clock draw 7 die anyways. That was some big Grixis energy right there. Yeah, I could have drawn with the tome, but like, even if we hit the removal spell, they have a bunch of cards in their hand, like, we're probably dead. Play a Pyromancer, come on. Fox! Now that's too big for me to kill with my Nightmare. Why don't you play a Fox opponent? You'll take my awful Grixis deck from my cold dead hand, Jeff. Ain't that the truth? Listen, we don't kink shame here. If you like Grixis, enjoy your Grixis. You're not alone in your love of Grixis, chat. Discard. This card is incredibly well positioned right now. Bye, friends. I'm gonna stop on my upkeep here because we definitely want to hit our 6th land next turn. Just want to give ourselves 3 chances to do that. Scry, draw. Don't hate these iterations of cycling, giving up Luris. So when we played and we gave up Luris for this card, I don't think it was very good. But I think what's it called? Ironcrag Pyromancer is like genuinely powerful. For 2 or 3 archetypes, you recommend for someone checking out to get into that format. So I have to ask what your goals are in playing Historic when I ask what kind of deck you're looking for. So if you're someone that's looking to play to win and the only thing you care about is your best, giving yourself the best possible chance to win, spiking and tryharding. So I think Jund Collected Company is objectively the best deck in Historic right now, the Sacrifice deck with Mayhem Devil and Priest of the Forgotten Gods. However, we're getting Death Shadow in the Historic Anthology on Thursday, and Red Black Arcanist has also been very good, and there's a chance that Death Shadow puts Red Black Arcanist over the top. So right now, I would say definitely Jund Sacrifice Company, but I think that could change when we get Death Shadow, because I think the what's it called deck was already very close to being fantastic. There's a good chance that it gets put over the top by Shadow. What about for Standard? Standard has a ton. Standard is not an example of clean-cut best deck format. I think there's half a dozen different decks in Standard that are all reasonable and competitive that you could be playing right now. Sultai Ultimatum, cycling, white aggro, red aggro, 3 or 4 different flavors of adventures. I think Standard Standard's kind of proven that it's very cyclical at the moment. Hey, nice, Daddy. Congrats. Top 32 is nothing to scoff at. Hopefully they go to cycle a 1-mana spell here as well, and then we bounce the Flourishing Fox. I don't want to bounce the Flourishing Fox proactively here because we can get Mystic Disputed. So we'll get rid of this so we don't take a hit here. So we're taking 3, and there's currently 7 cycling cards in their bin, so we're not dead this turn. Heliod's Interventions life gain says target player. That's hilarious. If we don't draw a land with this at end of turn, we probably want to scry it upkeep. Because this is going to check for counter spells for us, and it could give us a window to slam Ugin here. This deck, speaking of this deck and its matchups, this deck we're playing right now probably has a pretty okay cycling matchup between the sweepers and the counter spells and the nightmares and stuff. Hey, show me what you got. Double Mystic Dispute. Okay, so what do we think of taking the Boon of the Wish Giver here, so I can then Elspeth's Nightmare their Flourishing Fox. I think I like it. Are we the baddies? So, one thing I've actually talked about a little bit, Bulletproof Pope, is one of the reasons why I've enjoyed this standard format so much is it really reminded me of how hard card evaluation is. If you would have told me last season, or coming into this season, that Ugin wasn't going to be a major player in this standard format, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have told you that I expected Ugin to be very overbearing, and that really has not been the case. Ugin is a fringe card that is not super popular in this format. I definitely do not think you are the bad guy playing Ugin. King Nuck, thank you for the 19 months. Welcome back. Hey, thanks for the 38 months, Twin. Welcome back. Now, I could get myself into trouble here, so I'm giving them the opportunity to double Mystic Dispute us here. And maybe I'm just supposed to play this for X's4 so I can pay for the first one. Yeah, that's actually probably wrong, huh? I'm probably just supposed to do that for 4, so they just can't do it. If this is, oh, they get to just do this, right? So I'm gonna take 7 here. Yeah, this was wrong. I should have just done the last one for 4. Yeah, if we die here, I deserve it. If I would have done X's 4 on the Pyromancer, we would have killed it last turn. I'd be up 4 life. So we'd be up 7 life, we'd be at 9. So if this is a cycler or this is a cycler, we're dead because they can activate Improbable Alliance. Oh, okay. That's, all right, yeah, that gets us. All right. So I definitely threw this game with my sequencing here. I'm gonna be done with this deck in general, though. I know I just messed up this last game, but overall I was super underwhelmed by this archetype. And let's get this to spin and we can pull it up and talk about it. Most notably, the big thing that stands out in my mind is that more than ever, similar to how it was the start of the standard season, the counter spells in this deck just don't feel good against anything other than Sultai Ultimatum, really. And I don't feel like I want a bunch of counter spells for just that one matchup that then mostly feel bad in other places. So we're not gonna play it today. I'm gonna get some variety, and I think we'll probably start with Jund tomorrow. But the thing that this has reminded me of is that the Jund, or maybe 4-color control. There's just so many decks in here. There's Jund control is in here somewhere. There it is. This deck that we played a bunch of at the very start of the season, I think has likely come around to a spot where it's reasonable. And Shadow's Verdict is a card that I normally want to get. I definitely want to get some copies of it here. But something along the lines of this, where being out more tap out control. And if you haven't seen this before, there's videos of this up on my YouTube channel, so if you want to check this out today, I think I'm gonna update it a little bit and we'll play it tomorrow. It won't be that different, but this kind of core where We have more of a tap-out style control deck, I think is generally speaking where I'd want to be. Even if it's a little bit worse against Sultai Ultimatum, I think it's likely better almost everywhere else. And, and Magic Standard format right now has a very deep selection of decks in it, so having a bad matchup isn't the end of the world. And I don't even think the Sultai matchup is unwinnable for Jund. I think you're not favored, but I definitely think you could win it. Yeah, Klothys is very good against Sultai.